Hello, everyone. Welcome. Glad to see all these smiling faces. This week, we watched Season 2, Episode 1 of Hemlock Grove.
Also known as Pennywise Begins.
Now I'm, thinking about it. Yeah, no. Okay. All right. No, all right. All right.
The title of this episode is Blood Pressure.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, I wrote it down, apparently.
Okay.
Because I asked you earlier, but forgetting I had already written it. So, I did watch the recap. I want to go through some of the characters.
I skipped that. I was like, I'm winging it.
I thought you might. So here we are. There's Peter. He's a new guy in Hemlock Grove in Season 1. He's also a werewolf. And everyone suspects him of the brutal murders occurring throughout the town.
Because he's a werewolf and everyone knows it, or not?
Because I'm not sure why.
Okay. So, all right. All right.
There's Linda, Peter's ma.
Okay.
Played by the inimitable Lily Taylor. I almost said Lily Tomlin. It's a very different actress. And she is a con woman, which is relevant to the beginning of the episode. Blood Pressure.
Will probably carry on as an arc throughout the season.
And then there's Roman, played by one of the many Skarsgård boys. The Skarsgård brood boys.
Oh, is that... Well, didn't he play in that Stephen King adaptation as
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
He
He
did.
does creepy very well.
He does Pennywise in the It films, and he does...
Oh, he did.
Creepy silent boy in Castle Rock.
Yes, Castle Rock. That's what it was.
So, the youngest Skarsgård boy plays Roman. Mm-hmm. Who it turns out at the very end of Season 1, he realizes he's a vampire, or what the show calls an Upir. It's spelled. I wrote it down. Upir. Also, the big bad in Season 1 was what they call a Vargulf, which is like a werewolf that went insane. Oh,
okay. They said Tanis says that.
And that is who was actually committing all the murdery things.
Wait, so it's an insane werewolf, and they're like, no, that guy did that. That human that isn't a werewolf was doing those things.
I don't know if they know he's a werewolf.
But okay, but even so, if they didn't know he was a werewolf, then they
thought he was killing people.
They thought he was
people.
Brutally murdering, tearing people apart. If that's a crazy werewolf, assuming a crazy werewolf attacks the way I think they would attack.
Yes. Now, I would like to say that this recap of Season 1 is maybe my favorite thing about this show. Because number one, it's narrated by...
I missed so much then.
It's narrated by executive producer Eli Roth, better known as Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards. And...
Is he in the show besides EP?
I mean, I didn't see him.
Okay,
maybe he was the dog inside.
Every third extra is him actually.
But it's very short, but it gives you such an insight into just the bonkers levels of crazy the show goes to.
It started and there was all this dramatic music, and I was like, "No, I'm gonna know nothing."
Yeah, and then final
I'm
main
gonna Jon Snow the crap out of this.
There's a doctor. There's a Famke Jensen plays Roman's mother. Yeah. And in the end of Season 1, Roman bit out her tongue and he spat it out. And and she's telling everyone that she bit it off herself I don't know what the hell she's telling everyone.
That's what
I'm not sure everyone knows she's still alive.
No, I'm pretty sure they don't.
Roman, I'm pretty sure thinks she's dead.
Yes.
Famke Jensen knows she's alive. Her brother-in-law, or I guess
Uncle Norman.
The brother of her deceased husband.
Yeah.
Her lover also.
I guess no longer brother-in-law.
Long-term
brother-in love.
The eternal brother-in-law. They're boning and he knows she's alive. And Dr. Price, the creepy doctor who likes to raise people from the dead.
Yeah. Everyone's got to have a hobby.
There's also Tanis, who is a beloved character on Certified Goodwatch Letterkenny.
Certified Primo A+.
And she plays Peter's cousin.
Yes.
And she's one of those characters who, for some reason, this doesn't happen in real life, but it happens too frequently on television, where she refers to her cousin as cousin. Have you ever called one of your cousins cousin in a genuine...
She said cuz, too. No.
I've done it solely to be annoying, so I don't think that counts.
That sounds pretty standard for you.
Cousin.
What up, cuz?
But anyway, so now that I've introduced all those characters, there's this other random guy in the start of the episode, season 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing a silvery face mask.
Yep.
And he's wearing a big dark hood.
Big overcoat thing.
He's meant to look scary.
Yeah.
We see a prolonged shot of a young child urinating. And he does not wash his hands.
Well, so I just left the note, creepy dude is creepy. So
creepy dude is very creepy.
So he walks in, and the house is unlocked that he walks into, and I'm guessing this guy's the big bad for the season. And then he walks into this house, it's nighttime, everyone's asleep, and it is bright inside this house. He doesn't have any lights, and he can see everyone's
from
face.
His reflective silvery face.
Yeah, I don't. Well, also, from the angles, there's apparently a lot of lights pointed at the house at an upward angle, shooting into the second story.
Eli Roth, we're criticizing your lighting, buddy.
This house is super lit up. I would never be able to sleep.
Yeah.
He walks upstairs.
Roaming around their house. There's 2 kids sleeping in a room.
And he touches the face of the boy.
Closes the window in the boy's room. Mm-hmm. I thought it was because he was the boy's father, but no.
Initially, I was like, oh, he's just a creepy dad.
He's just a creepy uncle or something. Then he peeks into the parents' room. Daddy's got a CPAP machine on. I don't know what mom's deal is. You know, if you have sleep apnea, it's a serious thing. You should look into it. Then little boy pees for what seems like forever. And then he doesn't wash his hands and goes back to bed.
Well, he rubs his face.
And it's the most unnecessary tracking shot in the history of tracking shots.
Yeah, and they pass and you see...
You follow him as he gets out of bed, rubbing his eyes.
Yeah.
Boy goes into the bathroom, where the toilet seat is already up. The women in this house have not staked their claim.
And it's 2 and 2, and they have not.
They really need to be assertive.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, creepy man is creepy watching creepy boy pee.
Mm-hmm. And this house is, again, super lit up, so the kiddo doesn't notice these gigantic feet there or anything.
Let's say it was the light of a full moon. Silver-faced creepy guy goes downstairs. Mm-hmm. He blows out the pilot light on the stove.
Lights a candle, then blows out the pilot light.
Opens the oven door, turns on all the burners.
Yep.
And walks away. And then the house explodes behind him in a real Michael Bay explosion.
I have written down, they really should have 6 hours later, and then an explosion. Or
because they've done such a great job of setting up the size of this house with his creepy walking through, and then, oh no, there's just a lot of gas in that stove.
It's actually like a wok stove. Hundreds gallons of gas is coming through there.
Then, actually 6 hours later, perhaps, you see that the silver-faced man has taken off his robe. He's facing away from the camera, and he's bald, which I thought was a neat twist. And he is whipping himself.
He's got that self-flagellation going on.
Is it Paul Bettany in the Da Vinci Code?
I don't know the actor.
I think it's Paul Bettany in the Da Vinci Code.
This is just an homage. That's really what this is.
It's really, yeah. Pretend you're in Paris, ladies and gentlemen.
Murderous monk. Yeah, then it goes to the intro, and then American Gypsies.
Yeah, there's Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, which turns out to be entirely, I don't know, someone heard that Cher song, and they were like, let's do that in the show. Because it's a funeral for, what do they call him, Joe? Grandpa Joe?
Something like that, yeah.
He's this very old man who's sitting in a chair, totally propped up as if he's alive, but his eyeballs have been plucked out, and the lids
not plucked out. They just sewed his eyes shut. They did not pluck his eyes out. That's a little
very
extreme.
Creepy. I
think that's actually a thing, though. Which is
now I feel bad for saying it's creepy, and the fact that I made the joke weekend at Romani Uncle Bernie's, because he's just chilling in this room, and people come up and whisper thanks into his ear, which was actually kind of sweet.
Our system, Christian system of going to see the dead body. I mean, it's also just as weird.
Well, Tanis is there.
Well, she pulls up and gets dressed.
Oh, that's right. She drives up because someone followed her into a bathroom somewhere, and she had to kick his ass, and she strips down, throws on a dress.
My favorite part of this is that I didn't recognize that was Tanis. I thought she looked a little familiar, but it was later. It was her mannerisms that she does the same between the shows.
This is going to sound really strange, but it struck me that she was shorter in this show.
I thought she was tall.
I've always thought she was tall on Letterkenny. Yeah. And I was like, she's just average height. I don't know. Anyway, she walks in, sees Peter, and Linda's also there. She hugs Peter and says, hey cousin.
What up, cuz?
And then there's a guy down the hall totally checking Tanis out. And I was like, I don't know what the family tree is like at this funeral. but that dude wants to fuck Tannis. And they may be related. I don't know. She talks to this guy, and he mentions that he remembers watching her swim when she was 9 years old.
Creepy guy is creepy again.
That he gave her ice cream because that was his job that summer.
Something, yeah.
Because
so
her family was camping
10 years
up there.
older than her, or 8 years older than her.
Then they have a toast where he says to beautiful young girls who grow up into beautiful women.
To girls who grow up into beautiful women, and it is
and then,
so gross.
Then hers is no better, though, because it's like men with...
Silver-tongued men with...
Yeah, it's some silver-tongued men with
something smile.
Yeah, it's gross. And then they immediately...
And then they just now we fuck.
They toast, and then they lock themselves in the kitchen. They're literally doing
the high traffic area of the house.
Yeah.
Like, go upstairs or something, or the basement or something. I was like, what are you doing?
I was like, people eat in there.
Yeah.
You're doing it literally on the kitchen sink. It's so gross.
Like, that's gotta be uncomfortable, too. I was like, what is... There's 60 people at this party. Like, there's a lot of people. They're in the a main thoroughfare.
But they're not the only people who want to bone down, because Peter is outside the house having a cigarette, and what I can only assume is one of his many creepy uncles is like, "How's your mother doing?"
That was so weird.
I've been thinking about it. If she ever gets lonely, and then he smiles.
Yeah, I was like,
for an uncomfortably long time.
They're just having this character just fuck with him. He's like his uncle, and he's just like.
Tell Linda I said what's up.
After he has this stereotypical accent that's obnoxious.
Yes. Then the FBI rolls up.
Yeah, then the FBI, sirens blaring.
It's like a whole field office.
And then everyone scatters like cockroaches. It's so insane. It's like, so they're trying to capture a whole bunch of people, I guess. And so they're like, well, let's give them warning that we're coming. And so all these...
Yeah.
And so everyone gets to run.
There's 5 or so cop cars and
a paddy wagon thing.
And a paddy wagon, but the only person they take, I'm reasonably sure, is Linda.
My favorite part of that is they didn't confirm identity. They just sprinted in the house, grabbed her, and then ran out. I don't think that's how any of this works. You guys gotta confirm that you have the right actual person. And it was just and they just sprinted and drove away with Peter chasing them, and I was like, oh, this is just so he can run after them.
It was so funny. I, for real, thought, because Linda looks out the back of the cop car and sees Peter, chasing after her, and then turns around, very unconcerned, and I was waiting for the moment when she's like, you guys didn't have to make such a big entrance. She's an FBI informant or something, but they have to make it look...
Yeah.
Real.
Then that would be a reason for them to have just carted her off.
Exactly.
Otherwise, that's not how any of this works. Because you don't just, the cops don't run away. They have to process everything. Okay, so I took ownership of this. They don't just
no one read her rights.
Yeah, they just sprint. And the other part is Peter tried to stop the arrest and he got punched in the face. And then they didn't go. They were just like, oh, that's cool that you tried to stop me.
They didn't bug him for assaulting a police officer.
They're gonna stomp on you too.
Yeah. But it turns out that Linda is a con woman. She's been kiting checks, and she trespassed dressed up as a clown to steal an elephant or something like that. And there's a really unprofessional lawyer who meets with Peter and Tannis, who's
she's dealing with the Roma, so maybe.
She says, well, the judge is a twat. And I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, I was like, that's Pauline no punches, all right.
Peter realizes he doesn't have the 20,000 to cover her retainer. Cut to the Godfrey Tower.
Which is a 70, 80, 90 story...
It's an enormous glass tower. It's
the middle
the Chrysler building
nowhere.
In the middle of Hemlock Grove. It's also very poorly CGI.
Yeah, it is very obviously CGI'd. This town could not support us guys. People have to commute because there's no place to live near this giant-ass tower.
That was sort of my favorite part about this huge tower, is that it's enormous because apparently Roman has a complex of some kind, similar to Big Ben, if you will. And there's...
Which you immediately confirms in his immediate conversation.
Exactly. So there's 8 people in a board meeting, and because Roman's mother is allegedly deceased, he is now the CEO / primary shareholder or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
And he interrupts the board meeting to show photos of his recent Hawaii vacation.
Maui conquest.
Yeah. He went to Maui. He's like, it's really beautiful there. More beautiful than you think. And he's like, you see this girl? And it's just a straight up topless nude photo of a woman laying in the water. And I was like, wait, is he showing pictures of a woman he killed? And then I was like, oh no, she's alive in those photos. Okay. He probably still killed her though. Anyway, he's like, I fucked this girl.
Like,
I fucked her a lot. I mean,
it's so ridiculous.
A lot.
Like this I was like, this character is coming out for me because I had no premise. I was like, this character is coming out strong right now. It was
sort of like he's looking around the room like, I dare you to ask me how many times we fucked because it was a lot. And
it was so ridiculous.
Then he's like,
God.
He somehow talks about this is all part of his ploy to get the company more invested in organ farming or something.
Growing. They're going to grow.
Yeah, they're going to grow.
They're like, yeah, we work with gallbladders. We're very proud of our organ growth stuff. And he's like, we need to change.
He's like, people like this. And he points, he does use her name, thankfully, but it's very Hawaiian and I don't remember it.
Yep.
But he says, people like this, our market for our synthetic organs is dying off.
Yeah.
We need to start targeting young people so they can be harder,
firmer,
thicker. And I'm like, oh,
firmer, tighter, and his voice drops to tighter, and
it's the most uncomfortable
and then he's like,
collection.
Then he's got like a little smirk. He's like, thicker. It is awful, and it's just like, all right.
Everything about it is so gross. And then he starts. The Dr. Price, of course, is the only doctor in town, also the only Asian American in town.
Mm-hmm.
He's also on the board of Godfrey Enterprises or whatever. Roman starts questioning the doctor about some miscellaneous R&D and the money that's going there.
And there's like millions and millions of dollars going there.
Yeah, Roman figures out that the doctor is skimming from the company.
He suspects he's skimming. I think it's stuff for his mom.
The doctor is taking money to rehabilitate Famke Jensen.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, she's a well-paid actress.
Yeah.
I mean...
that she's been skimming.
Yeah. Also, I actually thought, we'll get to this maybe in a second, but the special effects where they showed the stitches reattaching her tongue, I thought were pretty great.
Yeah. Those
maybe the best in the whole show.
I was like, that looks like that might actually be uncomfortable. Yeah. Like they had to do some stuff to her tongue.
It looks very real.
I was like, I don't know how they did that, but I was curious.
That's just how talented Famke Jensen is. She's like actually cutting her own tongue.
Oh my god. So Roman's asking about this money, and Dr. Price is like, you'd have to have an advanced degree in paleovirology to even understand the basics. And I was like, no, that's what a thesis is about. For a thesis,
yeah.
you have to be able to explain in order to do it. And because he's obviously hiding stuff. So then he goes, let's go in your office, and he takes him in the bathroom and he pees.
Yeah, Roman leads Dr. Price into the bathroom, urinates. Again, you don't see his schwang because it's itty bitty.
Well, he didn't invest yet in the thicker.
It's tiny. This is why he wants thicker on the list.
Thicker.
Faster.
Oh,
and then he also doesn't wash his hands. It's an epidemic in this town, and he pats Dr. Price's face before leaving the restroom.
Oh, man.
And that's pretty much Roman in a nutshell.
Yeah. And Price is like threatening him for like it's a weird thing. So his subordinate can threaten him because he's got secrets, and I was like, this is before I knew he was a vampire. He drives away.
Yes.
Roman drives away, and he's in his fast car, and like the camera cuts were really weird here. Did you like the angle they took? I think they were trying to do something cool with the camera cuts, but they showed I think they were just like, let's not actually have him drive a car, let's do CGI, and it was strange.
It looks very weird.
It was a weird cut. I was like, I don't know what they're doing.
I think they were trying to create the illusion that he is driving very fast, and I just was left the impression he's not driving at all.
Yeah.
He was sitting on a soundstage somewhere. It looked really bad.
And then he looks out his window and he sees what I came to the realization was his mom's house as he drives away. And then you cut to her.
Yeah, Dr. Price is debriefing Famke on the shitty board meeting that just happened.
Yeah. So he went straight from the board. It's been 10 minutes and he's there.
Yeah.
And he's debriefing her, and but my thing is she's sitting in a weird, they're super rich.
She's reclined.
She's reclined. Wearing a short dress. Mm-hmm. She's wearing a short cocktail dress almost.
Yep.
And heels.
Yep.
And she is in recovery from something that happened, and I find out that she was half dead.
Why she needs to recline to heal from her tongue being eaten off is unclear to me.
I think they were like, we're going to show off her legs. So I was like, why is she wearing? She's laying down and wearing a short skirt.
Famke can do whatever the hell she wants. So. Don't mess with Famke.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Dr. Price is telling her how Roman's looking into his expenditures and Famke.
But he's also avoiding discussing it because of reasons. I don't know why. And so she has to be like hit his clipboard and make him talk. And this interaction's a little strange now. Like, why?
Yeah.
Is it tense now that she just swatted you?
Yeah. He says she was clinically dead for 2 months, and it's been 3 months since he, like, revived her.
Yeah.
But her tongue is reattached. She can talk. She's still got great legs.
She's got atrophy, muscular atrophy in one leg, but it's very clearly not atrophy.
Yeah, she has to walk around with a cane, which she doesn't like.
She's walking around in heels in a cane. And
that was pretty hilarious.
And she does it like multiple times. I was like, what is
She complains about her cane, and I was like, you could just take off the heels. Like,
I feel like the heels are just like
I feel like those are a hindrance at this point.
Like, I mean, and later you cut to her again, and she's hanging out in a garden reading again in a cocktail dress and heels and a cane. I was like, what? Who does that? This
is true.
Oh man, it's really making me laugh.
This is also where they do confirm that Roman has no idea his mother is alive. Mm-hmm. Dr. Price is clearly still working for Famke.
At her behest,
Yeah, at her behest. Meanwhile, Roman is... They talk about Roman and that he must be getting hungry.
Yep.
Cut to Roman...
Getting hungry.
Driving to a dirty building where there's an old man who lives there, and they go into a room, and I was like, are they about to show some weird old man gay sex?
Thicker.
It's the opposite of Stephen King's Thinner. Oh, God. That's the porn parody. Probably. That probably exists. God. So anyway,
cocaine creations.
They're in a room. I guess it's like a rooming house or something.
Like
it's unclear.
House thing.
Yeah, like a apartment building. The old man starts unbuttoning his Hawaiian shirt.
Slow.
Yeah, he's making Roman work.
He's putting on a show.
Yeah,
he's like first you pay, then we play. That's a weird play that happens.
Like, watch me peel this banana, and then he takes off his shirt and he's covered in huge, fat, gross leeches. Yep. Which Roman begins eating immediately.
The gross factor on the show is very high.
They do have a high gross factor. I'll give him that. That's probably Eli Roth's influence. He's like, listen, little Skarsgård, I want you to really eat these fucking leeches.
Get them, boys.
Famke, we're really gonna cut off your tongue. But it's cool. We have a doctor here to sew it back on, so no one will know.
He's really doctor, also an actor. It's phenomenal.
Also, you don't really have to die, but it'd be cool if you were, like, asleep for 2 months. Yeah. Can you dig?
Can we do this? Just have a coma. Can you just have a coma?
Seriously, you should watch the recap, because he's so excited about this show when he's recapping it. I'm like, Eli Roth, what are you doing? Anywho, he takes some of the leeches in a little bag to save for later.
So this is basically vampire fast food, is what we've done here.
Yeah,
he's just grabbing and going.
Yeah, it's just grab and go.
He eats like 8 of them and puts a bunch of them in the zippy Ziploc bag.
He tells the old man to double the number of leeches for next time. I was like, that old man is running out of real estate.
I was like, you just need to hire another old man.
Yeah, I was like, you need another old man. I thought the same thing. I was like, you need to start outsourcing this because this old man's going to die. Then, so Tanis and Peter are driving back into Hemlock Grove because that is where Linda is being tried for her con woman shenanigans. But Tanis has an idea.
Yeah.
She says, well, it's not like you don't have any friends in Hemlock Grove. And she looks over at him and Peter's like, no. Because in season 1, according to Eli Roth, Peter and Roman had quite the bromance. And they were like best buds.
Okay.
But then Peter started having sex with Roman's cousin, and Roman got jealous.
How much cousin sex is there in this?
Too much. Already in the recap, it's already too much. And then you go to the weekend at Romani Uncle Bernie's. So anyway, he's like, no, I can't go to Roman. But that's exactly what he does. He goes to Roman.
Which, he goes into this house, and I was like, he drove up, and there's a neon sign on the house.
There's a neon sign outside.
Home.
Yeah.
I was like,
they're really going for like a millennial Bruce Wayne vibe for
hey guys,
Roman.
home! I was so confused.
And it's so Peter walks in and there's this, of course, like ridiculously big staircase in Roman's house because again, he's compensating. It's fine. And Roman stands at the top.
Thicker.
Peter stands at the bottom, which I think says a lot about their relationship.
Supplicant comes to the king.
And Roman says, I'm not giving you any money because when things got real, you got scared and you ran away with your tail between your legs like the pussy you are. Get out of my house.
He said that. I was just like,
He's also pointing a lot in this scene. I'd like to think he was walking down the stairs without any pointing, and someone was like, "Can we get some more?
I need some more energy. I need
some more."
It's like, wait, did you see that whole show where I was just silent the entire time?
Yeah.
What energy do you want out of me?
This really isn't playing to my strengths, Mr. Director.
I do a lot of long looks. What do you want from me?
He's coming down the stairs. It's like he's shooting finger guns. It's so funny. Peter leaves without the money.
I am glad that Roman character, the actor, got more work though. It's just
And you know what? He's supposedly I know he's very good in Castle Rock, and from what I've heard about the It movies, he's quite good in that.
Okay.
So Peter cooks up a plan to get the $20,000 to hire the I almost said twat lawyer.
Well,
lawyer who said twat.
We're skipping the section, so then Uncle Norman shows up.
Oh yeah, Uncle Norman goes to Famke's rehabilitation spa,
and she's in her
with flowers, but she doesn't want to see him
still.
because she has a cane and her tongue is weird.
Yeah. Or something, and then he follows. It's like it's so contrived. Like she walks in, and they have this moment in front of her mirror, and it's like a very tiny mirror. So they must have
asks him. She's like, "You have all this money. You could run away to an island with some 25-year-old. Why don't you do that?" And he's like, "Everything I want is standing right in front of me." And I was like, first of all, you're standing in front of a mirror, and so presumably you can see your reflection.
He's just talking about you.
So he's one of those guys with a mirror above the bed. You just know.
He's a full-on narcissist. Just I'm just sad there weren't finger guns there.
That would have been amazing. My God, if it was a family trait where they just use finger guns oh God, I would love that so much. That's the punch-up version. All the Godfreys have their finger guns going constantly.
Everything is emphasized and de-emphasized as well by finger guns. Finger guns low if you want it.
Love you.
If it's high, it means you're emphasizing. If it's low, you're not emphasizing.
That's when you're being sarcastic.
Yeah, finger guns down by your waist.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm doing a lot of prop work here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you guys. This should be a really good TV podcast now.
So yeah, they hang out, and Famke's like, well, I guess it's nice that he's attracted to me. Also, Famke is like eternal or something. I don't know what they call her, but in the recap, they do cover that she has been a cougar since like the 17th century or something. Whenever she became whatever she is. Okay. They don't specify. At least Eli Roth, get at me. I don't know.
But then she died somehow? Is she not good?
I think that's how you're supposed to believe she was like clinically dead for 2 months. Dr. Price brought her back.
Or is that her plan to like make a new identity since people start asking questions when you're like 300 years old?
Probably.
And we keep records now?
You gotta keep
sort of
uprooting yourself.
Yeah.
So
now we go to Peter.
Now we're back to Peter.
Yeah.
He has a plan to pay for the lawyer who says twat.
Yeah.
And his plan is to give 2 low-life drug dealers some special Romani drugs that make you trip really hard, but it's not a drug. Well,
it's actually.
Here's what happened.
So I just want to preface this. So Peter, it's daytime. Peter, this is like some just crappy editing. It was hilarious.
Yes, it's daytime.
It's daytime. He goes to Roman. It's daytime. He leaves. He sees his cousins. Like, can I borrow your car again? She says okay, and then she says, "Be good. Don't do bad things." And I was like, oh, does that mean he's going to do bad things? Record scratch, he does bad things.
But at night.
And
still
so then
with the car.
He leaves, it's still daytime. Next scene we see is nighttime now. And I was like, this is some B-level shit right here. Like it was daytime a second ago. He's been driving for 6 hours, and then obviously he hasn't, because next scene after this, he's at home. So it was like
and it's so silly because I know for a fact that it's much more expensive to film at night. And there's no reason. It's dumb. Anyway, he meets up with these 2 drug dealers in a shady parking lot.
Apparently needs it to be night to see the moon to change. I think that's what he was going for. So he meets these drug dealers, and he's like, you got my money. Are you going to count it? Do I need to count it? And then one of the drug dealers is apparently pretty philosophical. And it's like he's already corrupted is the paranoid one. It was like, so does that mean you have the money or no? I don't. So then he takes him back to Tanis's place.
Yeah, where he's staying. And he to show them that this drug is totally amazeballs, He
It's
gives
so
them each a
ridiculous.
dose. It's an eye drop liquid, so he gives them
Which
each
is
a
weird
drop.
that they both, like, maybe one of them be like, I'll do it, you watch me to make sure, because they don't know
But
what
his
this
whole
drug
plan
does.
hinges on both of them
It
tripping
does,
balls.
but, like, if you're drunk, like, why would you let, like, maybe this guy's gonna rob you for more money? I
At
don't
least,
know.
I was really hoping one of them would be like, nah, man, I gotta drive.
Yeah, right?
Like, safe driving, guys.
Like, I don't know, I've never hate taking this drug, you take it, I'll watch you, I'll be your character.
Yeah, I'm not
like,
trying to yuck any yums. Like, if you do drugs, that's you do you, but drive safe, everyone.
I was
no,
like, now he's gonna send two potentially hot people back out on the roads.
they both dose up, and to prove that they are tripping balls,
It's so absurd.
then Peter does his whole werewolf transformation.
This is the craziest werewolf thing I've ever seen.
Same for me. It is the most bizarre. Like, they tried. It's
They
like
made really weird choices about this.
it's like they took a traditional werewolf transformation and they're like, yeah, that's just not complicated enough.
Yeah.
So let's make it so the dog and Peter coexist.
And the dog is inside.
The dog is literally inside of Peter.
But like compact. It's like origami
It's like-
werewolfism. It's folded up inside you. And when you decide to summon it forth, it unfolds and it's horrifying.
Literally, there's a prolonged shot of the muzzle of the dog emerging from Peter's wide open jaw.
And it tears open his mouth.
Yeah,
and
it totally rips up his face and body.
Yeah.
And scares the crap out of the two drug dealers.
And one of them vomits. And then then there's like some Ouroboros type shit happening, because then Peter's hand comes through the mouth of the dog. So so it becomes Peter is
There's one level. It's like a turducken of Peters. It's Peter, dog, Peter's arm.
Peter's arm. I was like,
Peterducken.
what?
It doesn't make any physical sense.
Okay, like magic exists, you could do something,
Yeah.
but make some sense out of it.
I was just getting used to the idea that the dog was inside Peter.
Yeah, and then he was like, but you turn the dog inside out, and it's Peter again.
And then, of course, Peter's arm reaches out from the dog's mouth that's inside Peter's mouth, and he caresses the drug dealer's face. His arm pulls back.
And then regrows in its normal place.
Regrows.
So strange.
He goes back into human form. Everything's chill. He's like, you guys want a beer?
And the drug dealer's like, that shit was awesome. Because obviously none of that was real, except the one guy now has blood on his face, and he's just like, oh, it's just normal trip out shit.
Yeah, and then...
Dude, you rubbed jam in your face. What were you doing?
Yeah, it's just your sticky mess from your snack.
So weird.
They're talking before this whole happens, and he gives his drug a really dumb name, because he talks about, he's like, this is the essence of Saint Sebastian or something, and he's like, you mix it with deionized
I made it
water.
10,000 times.
Yeah,
it's
like,
it's
the
all
street value here is blah blah.
It's very
amazing.
clearly BS, and he gave him
and
fake
then he's like,
drugs.
the Romani call this Saint Sebastian's arrow because it gives you focus and speed as you travel through time
and space
and time and space. And then he says, I call it Sebzilla, and I was like, who did this? What middle schooler?
He's like, yeah. So he goes, well, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's a biomorphic portal into another dimension. I had to write that down because that was the best line of bullshit I ever heard. But I mean, it is bullshit, right? Because it's a fake drug thing. All right, that's phenomenal. That's what I expect a crazy drug dealer, drug creator to say about shit. So okay, never mind. He's been tripping mad balls. All right.
So apparently, this type of horrifying high is exactly what the people in Hemlock Grove are craving.
Yes.
You got to give the people what they want.
I really want to vomit every time I
want
take
to
a
vomit
drug.
and see a werewolf as often as possible.
I want it to caress my face, and then also
touched by a werewolf.
It's the messiest touch. Also, he rips a chunk of his shoulder out and tosses it to the side.
Yeah,
and there's like, so at the end of this, he's bled all over the room. I was just like thinking, like, he's got to deep clean everything in that house now. And then he finishes the transmutation back, asks if they want a beer, sends them on their way, and then he vomits on the floor.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
gets sick because, as they showed earlier when he first went up with the drug dealers, it's not a full moon. It's like a sliver. Yeah. And that's very dangerous.
That's the wrong moon, apparently.
It's the wrong moon to shift for a werewolf, and apparently doing so repeatedly can make you into a Vargolf,
or whatever.
The crazy werewolf.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, it sort of sounded like what happens when a wizard goes crazy and becomes a lich. That like liches are to Vargolfs what wizards are to werewolves. Yes.
Wait, what?
No, I totally messed that up. I haven't taken the SAT in a really long time. Anywho.
Well, we're going to move right along.
Peter's messed up from the shift. There's a...
Tanis comes home, finds out that he's done this, and is mad.
Tanis is mad that he shifted, but they have the 20,000, so they hire the lawyer who says twat.
And then she's like, well, I mean, you couldn't ask for 25.
You couldn't squeeze them for 25.
Which is, I was like, yeah, you probably definitely should have did that.
Eat. She's like, I had to walk home, asshole.
Yeah,
also, yeah, because he had your car for like 13 hours.
Apparently, because it was the whole day. So he like sat in his car for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, he could have easily borrowed it after her shift. It doesn't make sense.
Because he needed it to be night anyways. I don't understand. Like all they needed to say is like, I'll hang out here and then I want to use your car tonight. That's all he needed to do.
It's the dumbest thing.
But she couldn't have been there for that because. But so this is the thing. So he like casually did this thing that could endanger them because the first season they had to deal with one of these, right?
Yep. So
he did something for $20K. That's his price to possibly kill everyone around him.
Yeah, and when Tanis finds him, he's like, I just ran the sweetest little con. And I was like, first of all, do you really think that these drug dealers aren't going to realize you totally swindled them? Like, immediately?
Yeah.
When they try to use this drug again and they do not see a fucking werewolf?
They're like, all this, my eyes are hurting.
Yeah, it's just this kind of stings. Ouch.
And it's like 10 minutes of stinging, and then that's it. I don't know.
Yep. There's a Russian scientist hanging out with Dr. Price.
I wrote down science shit, heavy accent. Super
science shit, stereotypical Russian accent. Duh. And then,
naked
so
girl
there's a
tank.
character from the first season whose name is Letha. Okay. Like the way you would say Lisa if you're from Barcelona.
Okay.
Letha.
Okay.
Letha is in a tank because she died giving birth to her daughter, and she was impregnated by Roman, even though Roman is her cousin. But apparently
too much cousin sex.
Roman impregnated Letha because he was under the influence of Famke, because Famke is up to some dark magics. And when he finds out...
Magic is real as well.
I don't know. But they just say in the recap, he was under the influence of Famke. So whatever that means. She was
just like, what? Do it.
Yeah, and so I guess that's why he kills Famke, because he finds out that the baby is his, and that is also I guess sort of the cause of Letha's death. Letha's death. And then, so she's like in a test tube stasis thing.
And they say just a bunch of science words.
Dr. Price taps his fingers together and he says, yes, very nice, very nice. Then
she's like, it's beautiful.
Then Peter goes out clubbing. Or not Peter, Roman. Roman goes out clubbing because he's getting hungry for some real sauce.
He's like, the leeches.
He doesn't want that McDonald's shit anymore.
Yeah,
he wants the real deal.
Brown rib.
So he goes to this weird club. He sees a beautiful woman across the room.
So again, this podunk town.
Yep.
Has like kick-ass clubs that are like in basements.
Would we call this kick-ass? I mean, granted, I've never felt that. I was like, I've never said I want to go to that club.
Yeah, I guess I've never said that either. But I mean, it's like there was like a big. Intermission was a big club in a big city, but again, he's in Podunk, Hemlock Grove. There's nothing except this giant tower.
It's very weird because he sees this woman, and you clearly get the impression because he finishes eating off his fast food leeches. He's like, ooh, I'm hungry for the real shit now. He goes to the club, sees a beautiful woman.
It was a leech aperitif.
Yeah, he fights off her boyfriend by punching him in the throat. The woman is extremely impressed and immediately leaves the club with him, is doing cocaine in the car.
Yep.
And he looks over and he sees her, what is that vein?
The
carotid artery?
Carotid artery pulsing.
Pulsing in her throat. And rather than eat her right then and there, he pulls over and makes her get out of the car in the rain.
Well, I think he's feeling guilty about killing a human.
Yes. Yeah, it's supposed to show he's holding on to his humanity. But I was like, but you're such a dick. It's raining, and she's wearing really shitty shoes for this.
Yeah, I was like, this is nuts.
You asshole.
Yeah.
Then he goes home. There's a nanny there or something.
Was there?
He tells the old woman looking after the baby that she can go because it was a very long day. He goes into a very creepily padded room.
Yeah, it's super
inside. There's a crib containing a baby with blue eyes, like she's on Dune or something. And I'm guessing that is Letha's baby.
It's gotta be.
Letha's and Roman's baby. Mm-hmm. And so the baby's alive.
Cousin love baby.
Letha sort of alive. And I guess the stakes in this. I guess the only person who died from season 1 is the werewolf, which apparently was like a 13-year-old girl, and she's dead.
All right.
Yeah.
Everyone comes back.
Now, that's the end of this episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Ugh.
But I do want to mention that once upon a time, several years ago, I was a younger person, and
is that how time works?
Yes. And I was recommended by Netflix to watch the very first episode of Hemlock Grove. I did so, and I was like, this is fucking garbage. But I want to mention that the favorite bit of intel I picked up from that episode was that you can tell when someone is a werewolf when their third and fourth fingers are the exact same length. That's how you know when someone is a werewolf.
Cue everyone checking their hands.
Yeah, look down at your hands.
Now
so
back
I'm
to
safe.
me. Now back to your hands.
I kind of wish they were the same length, because that would make guitar playing easier in some respects. But anyway, I digress. Predictions. I think Linda is actually an FBI informant. Peter...
No, this show's not that smart.
Peter is going to realize that the lawyer who says twat, also a con woman, steals his $20,000. The drug dealers are going to...
that is going to, like, it's going to be, it's not enough, so he needs to get more. That's going to be the arc of the season of him trying to deal with that.
What's also going to be the arc of the season, the drug dealers are going to realize he gave them, like, shitty red eyes eye drops.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to shift again when it's not a full moon and attack them to fight them off, and then he'll become a werewolf. And, another thing you missed from the recap that I hope to God comes up in this season, because it didn't in this episode. Apparently... Tanis has the ability to commune with spirits, but in order to do so, she has to consume their remains. And of course...
So the audience can't see, our multitudes of listeners can't see my face right now, but what the fuck?
So to quote Eli Roth from the recap, he says, "Don't do shots with her. It might get weird." And I'm just like, Eli Roth, what the fuck, dude?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's not even...
Yeah.
No, last time she did shots, she fucked somebody. So, I mean, that is weird. It was in the kitchen. That's weird.
Yeah.
In a funeral. So maybe it does get weird.
It's... Yeah.
So she eats, like, she's like... Wait,
literally
does she make, like, bone jello out of people and then she eats that?
They show a clip of her putting human stuff in a blender and then, like, shooting it like it's a jello shot. Yeah. Yeah. And Eli Roth thought that was
They just go for the gross factor. It's not even smart. It's just like gross. That's gross. This is also gross. I mean, the leash thing, I was like, that's gross, but I mean, if you're doing an underground vampire thing, that's actually not bad.
We did forget maybe my favorite character. Mr. Pussybird.
Oh my god, yes.
So
that character,
Peter.
I was like, is this guy going to show up forever? Because he's insane, and I love
Peter,
it.
the morning after swindling the drug dealers,
he's like, I need money because I was too dumb to ask for $25,000.
Drug dealing is too hard.
Yeah,
I need a real job.
Fake drug dealing is too hard.
So he follows this help wanted sign to a really shady looking, like, junkyard chop shop place, looking for a tow truck driver. And the man and proprietor inside this establishment is working on a jackalope, and hanging from the ceiling is a bird with raven wings attached.
A cat with raven wings attached.
Yeah, a cat with raven wings, not a bird with raven wings. That's just a raven. And Peter sees it. He's like, "I like the cat," and the man says, "That's my pussy bird."
And there's just silence because that's all you greet that with.
Yeah,
I was quiet. I was like,
and
I
there's
just have
such
a
an
moment to
opportunity there.
myself.
Like, Peter could say, "What, did your pussy fly away?"
No, you just greet that with silence. You don't see, like, it was dead. He was just like, I think Peter, the character, just like nodded a little, and I was like, yeah, there's nothing to say to that.
Well,
like, that's your new boss, and he's insane.
That's Hemlock Grove.
Oh man. I might watch a little bit more of it just to see how crazy, because Evan showed me the trailer for it, and the trailer is bonkers.
So watch the season 2 trailer and the season 1 recap, and you'll probably have seen all you need to see. Let's go with that. But now it's time for Good Watch.
Okay.
I would like to recommend a show. So Hemlock Grove is on Netflix, but don't watch it. Just the recap and trailer. But you should watch a new show called Unbelievable, which is based on the ProPublica article, An Unbelievable True Story of Rape, that won the Pulitzer Prize in 2015. And it's about a serial rapist active in Washington State and Colorado, and how he was well, I guess it's wrong to say smart.
I've heard that before.
But he was sort of smart enough to plan all of his attacks in different police jurisdictions. And the only reason that they get on to the fact this is the same guy doing this is because there's a detective married to a cop. She's a detective in one jurisdiction. Her husband is a cop in a different jurisdiction. And she's telling him about this case that's really weird. And he's like, you should talk to one of our detectives. We had something very similar. And that kicks off this whole investigation. And it's Toni Collette, Merritt Weaver, Caitlin Dever. And the cast is amazing. It's 7 episodes. It's great. I highly recommend it. It is a little dark because it covers, rape. But I also think they do like an incredible job with the story because I have read that article.
Yeah, I remember reading that too.
Yeah, it's I'll link to the article in the episode description. Okay. It's a long read, but it's quite good. There's a reason it won the Pulitzer. But yeah, Unbelievable on Netflix.
Okay. And then mine, I have I think, this is an underrated gem. No one's really seen this, so I just want to make sure to get it out there.
Yeah, it's only one of those, indie Marvel flicks.
Yeah, no one
has seen it.
I flew under the radar for a lot of people. I want to recommend Thor Ragnarok, which, Ragnarok, that's how you say it. I just rewatched it again recently, and I was just marveling at what a fun time of a movie it is. The cast is great. It's so much fun to see them all play together, and the story is thoroughly ridiculous, and it's a blast. Jeff Goldblum makes my day every day, so I just want to recommend. I mean, I know everyone likes it already, but for anyone who has just crawled out from under a rock,
anyone who's on the fence about the Marvel movies, Andy wants you to know. Come on in, the water's fine.
It's a little warm, but it's good. It's comfy warm.
But it's a Jeff Goldblum kind of warm, It's just like a comforting, funky, warm. Yeah. That got weird really quick. I'm sorry. If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Give us all the stars. And if you'd also like to support the show, we do have a Patreon. And that website is patreon.com/badwatch. You can find us online at badwatchpod.com or on Twitter at badwatchpod. He's Andy.
That guy's Evan.
Roll them credits, because this is Badwatch.
Our credits are quick, aren't they? Just like you and me.
And scene.